Hey everyone, it's Tracy. It's been a while. I've been trying to make some videos for you guys. I've been really busy drafting stuff, so that's a good problem to have. But today I wanted to show you one of the projects I've been working on. It's a bathroom remodel, and I love bathrooms. I think they're probably my favorite project to do, just because you can do so much in such a small amount of space. I feel like you can really change the way somebody uses their space. So I think it's usually worth every penny if you can remodel your bathroom. So with this particular bathroom, these homeowners who are super awesome, they actually got a quote from a local company just to redo their shower. Just their shower, mind you. And it's one of those older shower units that were like 2'10" by 4', and it's all molded one piece with a seat in it. We see there's a lot around here in houses that are, I would say 20, 25 years old or so. And they were quoted $20,000 to just redo their shower. So this is a good example of why you should look around and figure out what's out there, and don't always go for the first bid that you see, because as they found out, you can do a lot for $20,000. So anyway, I just wanted to walk you through how I show people what I've come up with. And in this case, I actually came up with like 4 different concepts for them. I probably could have kept going, but I didn't. I had to stop. So and I'll show you my updated version after we worked through some other details. So I'm going to show this to you here just page by page, and I'm going to go through fairly quickly. But when I do these layouts, I always start with the as-built, which to me is super important, because if you don't have your as-built correct, then your remodel will not be correct either. So I think that's super important to do and measure correctly. And in this case, I show the elevations in here for the as-built because they have a lot of different elevations. They had several different ceiling heights and soffits, and then it's vaulted overall. So I've never seen that before, and I've seen a lot of bathrooms out there. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. So just for a point of reference, I decided to include the as-built elevations too. And then I always leave a page for demo and framing, and I don't fill those out until we decide on a concept. So this would be concept 1. And so this was basically to just update what they have. Maybe we could make the shower just a little bit bigger, and we would do that by using a product called Onyx, which I'm a dealer for that. And I want to show you the screen in a second for ordering Onyx and how I build those quotes. And over here, they wanted a jetted tub. So I was able to find a tub to put in there that would fit properly. So this was my concept 1. And we'll flip through, and I do the same format. So there's elevations for that and my 3D renderings. Now, when I do these renderings, sometimes I just pick things temporarily to go in there. In this case, if I could zoom in here, I actually rendered the tiles myself, and they did actually choose an onyx color, which is what this is, in the shower walls. So anyway, we thought maybe they were going to keep their existing golden oak trim, which they have since changed their mind. So we got rid of that on the updated plan. So if I could just zoom in over here, let me scoot this over. There we go. So anyway, I just try to come up with some ideas for them, just to get the wheels turning in their mind. So this would be a top down in the shower. And again, I created all of this myself. I don't use AI. or anything like that. If I need to render a very specific material, I just make it myself in Chief Architect. So here's concept number 2. There's a freestanding jetted tub in here, which I thought was really cool. It's actually bigger than the other tub that was in there. And then over here, I decided to do more of a neo-angle shower, keeping the same shower drain, because you can do that with Onyx materials too. So it makes it easy. You don't have to move the drain around. You can just keep it right where it is. And in this case, we got the toilet away from the door. And we also widened the door here and did a linen all the way across. So that's concept 2. And you'll have to let me know which ones you guys like, which ones you think we chose, which we both chose the same one, so that's good. So that's looking down again into the shower. So here's concept 3 that I came up with. So I was like, well, what if we just do a different entry to the shower? Like what all can we do in this bathroom? So that's what I did on this one. This one was not my favorite, but I still like to show it to people just in case they were like, oh, I didn't think about that. This would be a half wall with the same tub that I had in the first concept, and a linen cabinet here, and then a towel bar here instead of a linen. So that was concept 3. Elevations, 3D. Looking down into the shower again. And so this is concept 4. So this was actually one of the options talked about maybe originally, is removing a window, doing a much bigger shower, and either having a tub or possibly a water closet. So I was like, how do we find a way to give them all of those things? But really there wasn't enough room for a water closet. However, this keeps the toilet in the same place, but moves the shower over here. The window would be gone. We furred out the wall here. This becomes a shorter window, like a transom. And then I have the tub over here, and it's a little bit smaller. It's actually the smallest out of all of them. So to me, this one's a little too crammed, but I still like to show people what they could potentially do. This one I showed with vessel sinks on top because they expressed kind of an interest in looking at that if possible. And I changed out the floor tile here. So of course anything could be rendered. I did a different backsplash tile here. So just all things that I kind of think about when I'm doing these things. So there's another look there. And then here's all of them together on the same page. So I thought that was kind of cool to show them that, so they can really compare all of them at the same time. So any guesses on which ones we chose to go with? If you chose concept 2, you would be correct. So I want to show that to you really quickly here. So this would be concept 2, and kind of just fine-tuned. So we'll run through that really quickly here. So basically the same idea, and I do this for the contractors building it so they know what they're looking at. Again, this is the as-built with elevation, so all of those are the same, but this time I've added demo, so I'm kind of telling them what needs to go away in terms of walls. And in this case, there's also a little vanity top here opposite the closet. And so in order to do a bigger door, we have to shorten this, and they decided to do that in Onyx also. So we can still have it there. And then I do a framing page. So this would be stud to stud, unless I've noted otherwise, because some of those measurements are still to the drywall, because maybe they haven't ripped out that drywall. So I just like to notate that sometimes if I think it's necessary. So then here's concept 2. Really the only thing that changed here is we switched out oval sinks to rectangle here. That's about it, really. And we changed the colors. They wanted to do the trim white, so I changed all of those out, the renderings. So this is what the new renderings look like. And there's still a lot of selections they would have to make. So lighting, tile, specific cabinets, but we've given them a place to start so they know what to look for. And they're free to change, any of these styles that's up here. So just more 3D and more views here. So on the last page, I do show a selections and finishes and fixtures page, and it's just to kind of show a little bit more detail specifically for the installer and for the homeowner's sake as well. And like right here, I'm showing that, hey, this is the tub that I have in your plan, the dimensions. This is very similar to what I have in your plan. They could actually go and choose these if they wanted to. So it's mostly a placeholder. And then down here is where I have detailed the Onyx bowl, which will be white. And then these are the two niches in the shower, just the dimensions there. And then just more details here of some of the things they've chosen. So I really wanted to show you guys, if I could flip over to my screen in front of me here. So Onyx, you keep hearing me talk about Onyx. I'm a dealer for that and I love it. I've been selling Onyx for a very long time, like 20 years now. And back then, we actually had books that we would order and quote from, but now they have this really nice online system, which makes it easy. However, when we have a custom pan, like these homeowners, it's very custom because we're keeping the drain in the same place, but the framing's bigger. So I have to, as a draftsperson, draft it correctly and then plug it in here correctly. So if I were to show you, for example, so in this case, they want a low profile curbs or threshold. So it's about 1.5 inches. It says to 2 3/4 tall. Normally they end up about 1.5 inches or so. They want a hexagon surface on their pan, which is really cool. In this case, we're looking for something like this. So I'll have to see which one. We'll pick this one for now. So I'll actually have to go in here and plug all these dimensions in, and I know we're 50, oops, if my keyboard would work, 50 there, 50 there. I'm just gonna do a center drain for now, even though I know it's gonna move. And then what we do is we basically tell it where the measurements are and what we need them to be. So then I would continue to plug in these measurements as I go along, basically. So I know that's like 2.5. Specify curb and return walls. The curb, I think, was like 2'7". Actually, yeah, so that would be 31. Something like that. Wall jambs are 2x4. We'll keep that 2.5. So there, and it builds a pan for me. Now this isn't exactly theirs, so I'll have to go in here and do this again specifically, but this is what I'm talking about. This is how custom you can get. And if you don't want tile and you cannot fit a just off-the-shelf unit from Home Depot or Lowe's, this is a really good option for you. But it's really nice because it gives you all these dimensions, and Onyx automatically deducts 1/8 of an inch from the perimeter back wall because of out of square framing, because no house is ever square. So anyway, it kind of shows you here how custom this really is. And these pans and walls too are solid. They're They're very solid. And let's see, they picked Constellation, which is cool because it's black. And anyway, you just kind of come down here and we'll say PVC. I'm gonna do round, oh, square, I'm sorry. It won't let me do round. So matte black, and I don't want any of these things. And then it's gonna ask, do you just want the base or do you want walls too? And I want the whole thing. So, and they're all the same color. And in this case, they've chosen this wavy tile wall panel, which is pretty cool. And I want to do 96-inch walls. So over here, it builds it for me, generally what it's gonna look like, which is really cool. And so that's one other thing. Once I print out the PDF, I can actually include that into my layout if I wanted to. And I could, you know, extend the walls up higher if I needed to, but these, I believe this particular pattern 96 is their limit. So, but I could actually go up a couple more inches there. And there's other things that I can add if I wanted to. A ceiling panel, corner trim. I'm not going to do a ceiling panel because it's vaulted. But anyway, just to show you, it's I don't want to do that, so it's fine. And over here it shows a list cost. That's just suggested retail, which I would never ever sell it for that. That's really expensive. So, but it's still way cheaper than 20,000. So anyway, that's not what the cost would be there. So, but they do have other options, like they want to do a lavatory. So when we say lavatory, we're talking about the actual countertop and sink. And in this case, let's see, we would be 61, 62, 63 and a half. By the time we have an overhang, 22 and a half for vanity. And we do 22 and a half because your cabinets, vanity cabinets, are 21, and you want to be able to come over the top of your drawer fronts and doors because you don't want water to land on top of that. So that's why we do 22 and a half, so that those are covered. And then we could do backsplash if we wanted to. In this case, I'm not going to add a backsplash. There is a right wall over here. And no, it's not a partial, and none. And for this, I'm going to do flat. And the reason why I'm going to do flat is because here again, if you're doing these in an area of moisture, an actual sink base top, if you have this little curved edge on the bottom and say you have water on your top, it's going to just roll down and right underneath on top of your cabinet. So you might as well do it flat. So if for some reason you do have water on your countertop, it's just going to roll right off and down the front instead of up underneath. And the same thing goes with kitchen countertops also. I usually don't recommend an edge underneath, but just on top. So in this case, the thickness, they're talking about countertop thickness. I'm going to do 1 inch, and we chose a Venetian bowl. I'm just going to do, it's actually double. I don't have the measurements in front of me, but we're going to say, I'm just going to plug in 16 and 16. That's not correct, but we'll do single hole. But when the time comes, it'll be correct. So the lavatory color is actually the deck color. So that's our constellation color. And in the bowl, we're going to do that white. And you can add extra silicone clear for installation, and then color match silicone if you need it. In this case, we don't really need the color match because if they end up doing tile, they're probably going to use the grout silicone color for that. Oops, and it'll let you know if you've missed something. So there I've built a lavatory. And again, these are not what people would actually pay for that. So what's cool is if I go to review order, it actually builds all this out for me, and the dimensions, and it's just really nice to have. And again, I like to put these on my layout pages usually once I have them finalized. In this case, I'll just send the PDF to my contractor and the homeowner so they know exactly what they're getting. There's also another top I would add to this, but anyway, I just wanted to show you Onyx in general, on top of the plan here that I've been showing you. But yeah, I just wanted to show that to you. I've also been working on a addition, not an addition, but they're extending the front of their house out, adding a porch and doing a kitchen remodel. So I've been doing that at the same time. So I've been very busy, and but I'm glad I was able to show this to you guys today. And you'll have to let me know if you chose the same bathroom as we did. I think this project's going to turn out really cool when it's done. The homeowners are super nice people, and in the couple of times that I've met with them, it's been a lot of fun. So once again, I just want to thank you guys for watching, and subscribe if you find this kind of content helpful. I try to be helpful in terms of design information, drafting information. No, I'm not perfect, but I try to be as helpful as I can. And if you guys like that type of thing, let me know, and I'll continue to show you those things. So in the meantime, if you guys have any ideas, anything you want to see, please let me know, and I will see what I can do. But until then, we'll see you on the next one.